So, as you may know, if you watched my vlog video I posted recently, I did mention that I was going to the Amon Amarth concert, but how I probably would not be able to go since I have strep throat. Well, fuck it, I went anyway because there was no way I was missing that show, and I'm so fucking glad I did not miss that show because it was absolutely insane and it was just amazing. I had such a great time, and the bands were all incredible. And I gotta say, like Battlecross, I wasn't expecting I would like them, but I mean they were really good. And seeing Huntress was so cool. And speaking of live acts, I know a lot of my ranter friends are making a video about their top 10 YouTube ranters, and I decided that if I was going to make a top 10 list in any short period of time, like this one, for example, I wouldn't do it about my top 10 favorite ranters because if you're in my top 10, I don't even think I have a top 10 right now. I just have a list of ranters that I really really like Thunder's Time Lord and Ranter and Shades and Nick and all those guys and Gianriella. I mean, I just don't think I have a top 10, and it's a bandwagon now, so I'm just gonna try to avoid that. And since I felt like doing a top 10 list, I figured I would do it about something I had done recently, like go to a concert or something like that. So, what I have for you guys is a list of my top 10 favorite live shows that I've seen so far, which I have seen a lot of shows, and I mean, not as much as I would like to, but I have seen a lot. So, I compiled the list of my top 10 favorites, and I'm going to explain why I ranked them the way I did and why their shows are amazing. And if you guys want to post your top favorite shows you've ever been to, I mean, feel free. I mean, this is a I like to consider this my videos a public forum for discussion. So, without further ado, I will present to you my top 10 favorite live acts. Now, number 10, I'm going to start with Motley Crue. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this because honestly, a lot of people say Motley Crue doesn't do a good live show anymore. That Vince Neil pretty much blown out his voice and can't sing anymore, and that they're relying just way too much on like pyro and just like wild stage antics. But I think that's bullshit because Motley Crue, as you guys know, is one of my favorite. Well, as you may or may not know, is one of my favorite bands of all time, and they always have been. And seeing Nikki Sixx for me is just I love that guy so much. He's such a big influence on me, and seeing him live is always really cool, knowing that he's still on stage kicking ass. And another thing I like about their live show is that a lot of bands use like tapes and that they sing over. Motley Crue does not do that. Why do you think Vince Neil sounds like shit? I mean, they're above doing that. So I just like how they know Mick Mars is in terrible shape, but still he goes up there every night and gives it his all. And I will admit Tommy Lee is a douche, but he's still an incredibly strong drummer, and Vince Neil is a pretty good frontman, even though his voice is kind of going. So since they're one of my favorite bands, I've seen them live twice. So I figured I'd put them as number 10 just because of the declining quality of their live show, but I I do enjoy them every time I see them. Number 9 is Van Halen. Now, there's a reason I put Van Halen as number 9 even though I do love them so much. The big problem I have nowadays is that they call it a reunion tour, or everyone calls it like a reunion, even though it's only three of the original members. They got the Van Halen brothers and David Lee Roth. But you know who's missing is Michael Anthony. And I just think it's kind of a dick move to call it a reunion if not everyone is there. I mean, I understand if like one of the members is dead or something, but Michael Anthony is still alive and well, and I know Eddie's son is playing bass now, but I honestly I think it would be a lot cooler if they did bring back Michael Anthony. That being said, live, their songs still sound incredible. I mean, David Lee Roth, I mean, he definitely doesn't have the same energy, but I mean, he's a 50-plus-year-old guy. I mean, what can you expect him to do? I mean, he does have a lot of energy still, and he's still a fantastic front man. And the brothers still shred, and it was incredible seeing them live because I was like, let's say the stage was right there. I was like on the side way up here, almost like 500 or something feet away. And I don't know, when you're as big of a David Lee Roth fangirl as I am, just being that close to the stage and watching him perform was just like, ah. So that's why I have Van Halen as number nine. Number eight, a band not as big as the other two, but Dillinger Escape Plan. They're more progressive metal than glam rock or anything. But I saw them live at a smaller venue called the Firebird in St. Louis, and if there was only like one phrase I could use to describe that show is just it was fucking mayhem. I'm not even kidding. It is still one of the most insane pits I have seen to this day, and it was just completely insane because the members were jumping off the stage and just like throwing shit at people, and then in the pits, I mean, you you could have gotten killed because I was like the skinniest person in the pit, and I remember like I got a chunk of my hair torn out, and but it was okay. The guy helped me up and he gave me back my hair and asked if I was okay and everything. But I just got tossed around like a fucking rag doll, and it was awesome. And their songs are awesome, and I don't know, it's just one of those shows that you have a great time. I mean, they're number eight because I'm not totally familiar with their catalog, but it was just a bitchin' live show. And if you haven't seen them live and if you're a fan of their music, I definitely recommend them. Number seven, a band I saw last night, is Children of Bodom. And kind of like Dillinger Escape Plan, the pit was also insane, and I think I got groped a little bit when I fell down, but I don't really care because I was really sick last night and I was singing along with their songs, and that's the reason they're higher than Dillinger Escape Plan is because I do like their songs a lot better, and I mean, them on stage, they're not as insane as Dillinger. I mean, but they're still incredible, and it was just a great time. And the pit probably wasn't as insane as Dillinger, but it was still fucking awesome. And I'm really glad I did go to see that show last night because I think I'm definitely more into Bodum after I saw that show. Number six, totally changing the genre of the last two, is Poison. I know they get hated on a lot for being like pussy metal or whatever, but they they were honestly the band that had me look deeper into metal because I was just I just heard Poison. I thought they were heavier than what I was listening to at the time, which was like ABBA or Cher or something like that. And they were heavier, and I was like, huh, I wonder if there's heavier stuff out there. So they kind of opened the door for me for metal, and their live show, I mean, as we all know, Bret Michaels has really bad health issues, but you can definitely tell every night he's up there, he's just thankful to be there, and he always has a great time, and he's such a gracious guy. I mean, he was on stage shaking hands with the audience afterwards and just like talking to them, having a good time, and the guys in the band are still sounding great, and I don't know. I just wish them all the best and that they have a long career ahead of them. And hopefully, Bret Michaels is able to stay healthy because I know that's what those guys enjoy doing. And actually, I did go with my mom to one of their recent live shows because she also loves Poison. And she saw them in the 80s when they were in their prime, so to say. And she even said that they sounded better nowadays than they did in the 80s because they were all coked out of their minds. And now that they're all sober and loving life, they just sounded fantastic. So keep it up, Poison. Number five, another band I saw last night is Huntress. Now, I'm not, they only have a couple albums out. I mean, they don't have too much out, but still, From what I've heard of them, they are just incredible. Jill Janis might actually be a legitimate sorceress or something because oh god, she was just sort of magical. I know that sounds weird, but she kind of took the form of a unicorn and just kind of like flew off stage and breathing fire on everyone. I mean, that's what seeing Huntress felt like. She was so badass, and the guys in the band were just killing it. I mean, they were all very together. They sounded tight, and they were loud and just aggressive. And oh god, it was so awesome. I'm so glad I did not skip out on last night. And it was just a lot of fun. And as you all know, they were on Mayhem with Bodum and Amarth and Battlecross, the other band I saw last night. And they had Lemmy Kilmister write a song for them, and it was called "I'm Gonna Fuck You to Death." And just like when I was sitting in the crowd while Jill Janis was singing that, I was just kind of like, "Time to fap." I'm so lesbian for you. Just women have lady boners for other women. I mean, it was Woman Crush Wednesday yesterday, so yeah, Jill Janis was my woman crush on Wednesday. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, y'all familiar that I love her very much, Lita Ford. I mean, she was kind of like when I was younger, I thought only men could play guitar. And then my dad had me listen to Lita Ford, and I was just blown away. I mean, she's just she fucking shreds. I am kind of cheating a little bit because when I saw her live, I showed up kind of late in her set, so I only heard like 4 songs, and I still am really pissed about it till this day. But I mean, what I heard from her, I mean, she still sounds exactly the same, and I mean, it's just loud and heavy, and her voice is fantastic, and she just fucking shreds. Like she has not lost anything. She's just oh god. I want to be Lita Ford. That's what I want to do with my life. I want to be Lita Ford. I don't even want to be a musician. I just want to be Lita Ford. All right, but yeah, basically all I have to say about Lita Ford is that she pretty much sounds the same as she did in the 80s, and that's really impressive. And that if you haven't seen her live, just go out and see her live because she has not lost anything in that little hiatus she was on. Number 3 is Alice Cooper. And as we all know these days, that Alice Cooper is old as fuck. He's like in his mid 60s, but it doesn't make a difference. He sounds much better now than he did when he was in the 70s because he was always drunk. He was at the top of his game, and like the people that were with him, like Tommy Henderson and Orianthi, they were shredding, and the bassist was insane, and the drummer kind of looked like one of my friends from band when I was in band. So I was kind of like, just like, oh my god, Tolia, you're drumming for Alice Cooper, and then he was like, the fuck are you talking about? Anyways, I think the thing that frustrates me about Alice Cooper is that a lot of people only know the song School's Out, and a great majority of people, they just say, oh, I know way more than School's Out, but then the other songs they know are just like, I'm 18 and No More Mr. Nice Guy. That's bullshit. If you just go through his discography, it's, oh my god, it's incredible, and he's just so sick and demented, like Billion Dollar Babies, and I love when he did Poison, and I just I love his catalog, and it's just incredible, and even his new songs sounded fantastic. So if I'm basically what I'm trying to say, if the only songs you know are School's Out, No More Mr. Nice Guy, all that stuff, you're missing out. Definitely look deeper, and I don't know, listen to Hey Stupid or something. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. Number 2 is the Go Go's. Now, they're not metal, I will say that. And they're definitely not punk. I feel like they cross, like, they're pop, but they managed to have a punk edge about them, and they managed to be very rock and roll. And the reason I love them is because that is a band I've been listening to since I was in the womb. And like their songs, they never got old, they never got drawn out or boring. They just always sounded incredible to me. So once I heard they were playing in St. Louis, I mean, me and my mom were just like, okay, that's gonna be your birthday present. That's gonna be your 17th birthday present. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I don't need anything else. Let me go see the Go Go's. And just being a female musician and being on Jane Weedland's side of the stage while she was playing, it was just incredible. And she's such a funny lady, and they all have great stage chemistry. And Gina Shock was a little drunk, but that's pretty much all that was wrong. Charlotte Cathy was back, which was awesome because she doesn't show up much with the Go Go's since she's kind of been in and out of rehab in recent years. But I mean, Belinda Carlisle's voice is still incredible, and Kathy Valentine is still smacking that bass like a motherfucker. And Jane Weedland still shreds, and Gina Shock is still a fantastic drummer, and Charlotte Cathy is just amazing. And God, I just love them so much. I mean, they sounded fantastic, and I'm really glad I got to see them when I did because they say they're retiring a lot, so you never know when the last show is going to be the last. So I'm really glad I got to see them before they decided to hang it up for good. I'm sorry, I still do have strep, so it's kind of hard for me to make this video, and that's why my voice sounds so mannish right now and just crackling. And anyway, that's not the point of this video. And my number one favorite act of all time, if you know me personally and I ever talk to you about live acts, you'll know that this is my number one. My number one favorite of all time is Steel Panther. I saw them at the pageant over a year ago. I think I just recently turned 16, and I wasn't expecting them to be as like comical as they are in their videos on stage, but that's what I liked about it. It's like kick-ass music, and then fuck, and then it's also a comedy act sort of, and their stage banter is absolutely hilarious, and their and all their personalities are just, I mean, their character personalities are just like represented so well on stage. Like Lexi Fox would have the mirror, and Satchel would just he would talk about blowjobs a lot, and he would like put his mouth over the microphone as like a chick giving something a blowjob. And you guys know that another reason why this is one of my favorite shows is because they pulled me up on stage because they thought I was hot and Satchel touched my butt. So, yeah. But that being said, I mean, they definitely don't focus all on just like being disgusting and ridiculous with their songs. I mean, if you listen to the musicianship, it's just incredible. And I do talk a lot about that in my Steel Panther review. So if you want to know more about what I think of their music itself, definitely go watch the review if you have time. This is almost a 20-minute long video, so I don't really know if you have that much time, but anyways, and I mean the venue I saw them at was fantastic, and it was just amazing. It was, I mean, if there's one word I can use to describe it, it was just a fucking party. So, anyways, I think I've done enough talking for today because I feel like I'm gonna be losing my voice pretty soon. So yeah, feel free to comment your favorite live acts below, and there will definitely be more videos coming from me once my throat heals. And the school year is starting soon, so probably if I have any free time there, I'll definitely be making videos. So thanks, guys. Love you, and bye.